I was in my early 20s. I was working at a Catholic charities organization called St. Elizabeth's in San Francisco, and it was for pregnant teenagers and then the teen moms, so after they have their children. And I was a counselor there, and there was a young girl who just really affected me deeply, and sort of in a way, I could never say that I was called, because that's a little too traditional and a little too religious for me. But if I could have a calling at all, this would be that. My encounter with her was really my call to the spiritual life. She was probably one of the most angry and terrified of all of the pregnant teens, and this expressed itself in having nicknames for me like Skinny White Bitch or Oreo, and all these different like wonderful names. And she was there because she had been raped and then thrown out of her mother's house for being pregnant, and then she was in jail for prostitution before coming to St. Elizabeth's. And she always was so tough and would never look me in the eye, and she was terrified, but she hid that terror by being incredibly tough. And so one day when she was like 10 months pregnant, and the sort of reality of what she was about to go through was really upon her, she asked to talk to me, and she said, I could use some God right about now. And she was looking me in the eyes, so I was like, oh, like, this is unprecedented. And it moved me because she was willing to be vulnerable, and she was being honest. I could feel it. I had chills. She was telling me the truth. She really needed God in that moment, and she didn't have a way. She didn't have a bridge. And so I scrambled and I started to ask her, about her background and her past, and she just stopped me with like the quick flick of the hand and was like, find me a more meaty Mary, and then we'll talk. And when she said that, I felt like she named something for me that I was looking for too, and that I needed as well. A Mary, so an image of the divine feminine that could affirm the sacredness of the female body, of the actual flesh, even or especially a woman who's been sexually abused or violated, which, pretty much it's 1 in 3 of the world's population, so that's the majority of us here. And when she said that, I felt this charge, this calling to figure out, how can I find a more meaty Mary? How can I find stories and images of a divine feminine that can reflect not just the light, but also the dark, and help women heal and really become whole? And that was the beginning of my journey. And I ended up going on 2 pilgrimages to the Black Madonna and Mary Magdalene and the Divine Feminine all throughout Europe, and then two degrees, one in studying images of the Divine Feminine from all over the world at Harvard, and then going back to the Christian tradition and studying the Divine Feminine in Christianity at seminary at Columbia. And, I think that for me was the calling personally to write the book, because I didn't have anything to give her in that moment. I didn't have anything to give her, and I wanted to give something to her so badly. And she helped me to see how much we were lacking you know, how much we were missing in our imagination and in our stories of the divine. Because I knew the stories were there. I just had to go unearth them. I had to uncover them. I had to search for them and find them. But I knew that they were there. And they were. And I wanted to create a book that would then be a resource for women, so they wouldn't have to go through 2 decades, 2 degrees, 2 pilgrimages, to find all of these stories of the divine, and to realize that the divine is something that's inside of us. You know, it's something we don't have to get off our couch to find. So I wanted to create a resource for women to be able to have access to all of that, no matter who they are or where they are, so that they can use that to become whole and to heal. You know, I was prepared for it in a way because I was born with something which I can't really explain, but you know, I mentioned that I walked out of the Unitarian Church at age 10. That was because we were reading the Old Testament and I broke out in hives, you know? I mean, who has that kind of reaction at age 10, you know, to Christian, you know, sacred literature? Like, there was something in me that sort of came here to explore and understand, you know, what are the missing voices? Where are the silences, you know, in between these sacred scriptures? Where are the stories that have been left out and that have been whispered, you know, just between women? Where are those stories? Because we need them.